guys, so for today's video I'm really excited because it's been a video that's been so highly requested, and I cannot believe that I would probably say this has been like my, maybe even my most requested video. You guys have been raving lately about my tan and asking me, oh my god, what are you wearing, like what self tanner do you use, how do you self tan? So for today's video I'm going to show you guys my favorite self tanner, the one that I actually started off using. Like, it's my first self tanner. I only started self tanning like a couple months ago, and I was a lucky little duckling because I got lucky that the first self tanner that I used and chose to use happens to be like an amazing one. So I'm gonna give you guys like I guess you could say like a little bit of a mini review, but I'm also gonna give you guys like my tips and explain it and everything like that. I did actually also film a demo last night of me applying this, so I will include that demo at the end of this video. One of the first things that I do want to mention is I know with a lot of tanning videos there's a lot of controversy and a lot of people kind of like get sensitive with self tan. On my channel you guys have been super great. I think I've only had like one or two kind of negative comments about, you know, why do you like embrace your natural skin tone, why do you need to be tan, and the whole controversy around skin tones and tanness and darkness and lightness. And I just want to say it does not matter if you are super pale or super dark. I think that everyone is beautiful in their own way, but I think that as human beings aesthetically we like to improve our features, and honestly it's just a personal preference. If you want to cut your hair and dye it pitch black, or maybe you want to cut it super short and dye it blonde, or maybe you enjoy being a little bit lighter skin tone, or maybe you want to be a little bit deeper and you want to apply a self tan. It's not that serious to make everything about morals. It's not that serious. It's just about aesthetics, and I love having a little bit of a glow. I am not like super dark, like you guys can see. I will say that the camera does make me about 2 shades lighter. I am pretty much like an NW25, in between like an NW25, NW30 in MAC. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. So the one that I use and started using is the Loving Tan Deluxe Bronzing Mousse. I just want to say something. I know that a lot of people have been talking about this. Like, a lot of YouTubers have been talking about this lately, and it can probably be so it could probably be so confusing for the viewers. Like, is this sponsored? Is that fake? Is this really good? Or is everyone just like raving about it because they're sponsored? I just want to let you guys know I hate talking about products that are so hyped sometimes, because I feel like I don't want people to think that I'm falling in the hype. Some products are just worth the hype, and guys, it's worth the hype. Like, this is the best self tanner ever. Like, I've only used this one. Like, I've only used one self tanner. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm like a beginner when it comes to self tanning, but I'm so happy that I chose to go with this one first, because my worst fear with self tanning was like, girl, I do not want to look orange as hell. Like, I don't want to look like an Oompa Loompa. I want to have like a really pretty slight bronzy glow. Now, I do have mine in the shade for light to medium skin tones in the shade medium. I used to be an NW, like without my tan I'm around like an NW15, and with it I'm around an NW25-30. It so just gives me like a 2 to 3 shade boost. So it doesn't make me super dark, it just gives me a little bit of some color, you know? I love it because it's not orangey. Like, it gives you this really pretty like tan. Another thing is, you can see that I don't have these awkward, horrible self-tan hands. They look like really nice. So I do have tips on how to apply self-tanner on your hands and make it look really nice and natural, and that I will talk about in the demo later on in the video. It's a mousse, and it's also a colored mousse, so it allows you to see where you're applying the product. It blends beautifully. It lasts so damn long. I would say a good like 6 days on me before it starts to like slightly fade. Like, and when I say slightly fade, it does not fade to be like blotchy and like weird. It fades in the most nice way. What I recommend to do, just so that your tan fades in a very nice way, is to keep your body moisturized. I will show you guys the products that I use to like in the process of self tanning in just a minute, but I will just suggest to keep your body very moisturized just so that the tan fades really nicely. And the one that I use is the Curie lotion, the one for normal to dry skin. It's fragrance free, so I do suggest using a lotion that is fragrance free and doesn't have like too many dyes or fragrances in it. It doesn't smell horrible. Like I said, it's my first self tanner, so I have not ever used other self tanners, but I've heard that self tanners smell absolutely horrible. This stuff smells good. Like, it smells good. Like, it smells like a tropical coconut pineapple, coconut, like I don't know, it smells good. So it doesn't smell like horrible and chemically, like it smells really good. Another thing about this is I actually believe that, yeah, like it has better ingredients for you. So there's no parabens, no alcohol, and it contains natural ingredients as well. So it's a little bit better of a self-tanner for you. This is from Australia though, so I know that the shipping is like super cray. I did not get sent this product. Like I purchased this for the first time myself and I paid $25 shipping and $25 for the product. But I know that they recently just upgraded their shipping options and they got a warehouse in the US. So for US shipping, it used to be super crazy too, but now it's like affordable. I think Canada's probably still bad, but to be honest guys, I've had this for months and it's just now wasting. Like I would say it's at the bottom now, so I'm about to get a new one. And this video, by the way, is not sponsored. Like I'm not getting paid for it or anything like that. I'm just doing it because you guys really wanted me to talk about this. I want to show you guys some of the products that I use in the process of self-tanning and stuff like that. So I showed you guys the lotion that I use. So I want to touch on tanning mitts. This tanning mitt that I actually use and have been using is the Saint Tropez tanning mitt. To be honest, I use this one because I work where we sell it and I get a really good discount. I've really been loving how it applies. It just applies very, very, very nicely. So before I apply my self-tan, you want to make sure that your body is exfoliated and super, just like no dead skin cells or anything like that. So what I like to use is one of these exfoliating gloves. You can actually get these at the dollar store for $1.25. So I highly suggest doing that. I just use one pair because I don't like having both on my hands. I like just using one and then switching it. And I basically just use this in conjunction with a body scrub. I don't use any type of like super fancy body scrub or anything like that. I just use some good old whatever I have kind of laying around my house. But lately I've really been liking the store brand, Life brand. This is just from Shoppers Drug Mart. Coconut scrub, moisturizing body wash, and it just has a little bit of exfoliating beads in it, and it just works really well. It smells like coconuts, smells good, and I really like it. So I've been using that. And what I like to do is just scrub my entire body, scrub my hands, my knuckles, everything, and make sure everything is super smooth and exfoliated. And I also do not tan my entire body. I only tan like this upper area, obviously for when I'm filming, and because it is winter, that's pretty much all you see. I'm not wearing like shorts or anything like that. But now that the weather is starting to get warmer, I will pretty soon be tanning my entire body. I think that's pretty much all I had to share with you guys in terms of a review and what I do before I have to self-tan. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and play the demo for you guys. I want to apologize in advance if the demo is not the best quality. It was my first time kind of filming a tanning demo, and also it was a super kind of awkward because I was like, it was like fresh out of a shower and I had like my little hair up in like the towel turban and shit was like raw and real. Before I get started, I do want to mention again with the hand situation, I know a lot of people have like a lot of trouble with self-tan hands, and I used to have it as well. If you watch my videos from like 3 months ago, you'll notice that I had like really awkward self-tan hands, and I know a lot of people still struggle with that, which is totally okay. Like we all make mistakes, but I just want to show you guys a little bit of a really awesome demo that's going to help with doing that. You basically just don't want to apply a lot of product in this area. I explain it a lot better and a lot more in the demo, so if you want to check out how I apply my self-tanner, then just make sure to keep on watching. Okay guys, so I know I'm looking a little ratchet right now, but Sunday nights are kind of like my pamper routines where I wash my hair. Obviously I don't wear any makeup all day and I just take care of my skin, and also what this video is about, I take care of my self-tanning. So right now, basically, usually obviously when I'm not filming this, I kind of just do this naked. I don't wear a shirt. But because I am obviously on camera, I'm not going to be naked. So what I'm wearing right now, I'm just wearing a old like raggedy white t-shirt that I have like hair dye stains on, and it's just like I don't care about it if I get it dirty or anything like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the arm part and I'm just going to tuck it in. But before I get started, I feel super silly right now talking to you guys with like my like towel turban on. But anyways, before I get started, I just want to point out a couple little things about what I'm going to be doing while I'm applying. I am going to be doing like talk through just because I feel like it's a lot easier for me to explain things as I'm doing it. I'm also going to be telling you guys something before I get started, just because once I actually get started with the tan, you kind of have to move quickly, so I'm not going to have time. So the first thing that I want to talk about is good old hands. This is the part when it comes to self-tanning that everyone messes up on, and it's all good. We all make mistakes. I used to mess up so bad on my hands. We've all been there, done that, but I'm here to show you guys today how I get a really good self-tan on my hands. I have been doing it so well, and I found something that works so well for me, and I don't get those ugly like blotchy orange self-tan hands. So the first thing I want to explain is once you get to your hand, basically this area, so right below your wrist from the front and the back is the area where you want to put the most product. But once you get around this area, you want to stop. Like, you don't want to put any product there, basically. And what you're going to do afterwards is after you're done self-tanning that arm, and there's basically like just damp leftover product, that's when you're going to go ahead and take the product and then start doing this wrist area, and then start doing your hands and start doing in between your fingers and everything like that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is just go ahead and put on our tanning mitt. And now what I'm going to do is obviously just apply my self-tanner. What I usually do is just go ahead and pump 2 pumps for each arm. So we're going to do the first arm. I'm just taking and pumping 2. Now when the product is fresh, I like to just go ahead and put it on my arm. And then I will just start rubbing it in. And then I'll start working it upwards. Basically, this top area is where you want to focus the most product. So I'm not worrying about anything else right now. I'm just focusing it up here. And now that it's like kind of not as liquidy, now I'm going to start working it in the bottom of my arm. Working it around on top of my shoulders, a little bit over my armpits. And you see this right here? I'm just going to like slowly rub that in. If you're ever having any trouble blending any areas, you can just pat it down. Now that the product is dry, what I will do is I will take the leftover product and work it around the wrists. And I will start working it around the hands. And you will see that the hands do look a little bit white. Sometimes what I'll do if the mitt is like really dry and it's like a really new mitt and it's super dry, I will just take a teeny tiny little bit of a pump and I will put it on the hands, but I'll do that later on. You want to just basically make sure that everything is blended. Work it on the arm, bring it up, and then start working it around and around the elbows. And now that the product isn't as fresh, I will start to go down in this area. I'm noticing that I did forget to kind of put a good amount down here, so I just took a tiny little bit and I'm just working that in. So now what I'll do is I will do the hands again and around the wrist area. So now for the chest, I like to just do half the chest and then the other half. So I'll do 1 pump for one half and 1 pump. And then I will just start working it into my chest. Because it is super liquidy, I just want to work it in first. And then I will just start going all over. Making sure I don't kind of forget this area. Going up the neck. It's super hard to do this area because I'm not trying to flash you guys. And I will just work it a little bit behind my ears in case I do wear my hair up. And just a tiny bit over the ears, like just a teeny little bit of leftover product on the ears. And then I will go ahead and do another pump, but because there was like a lot of product already, I will only do like about 3/4 of 1 pump or maybe even half a pump. Start working it in the same way. And then like I said, because this is a brand new mitt, I'm just going to put a teeny little bit amount, like the slightest bit, and do a little bit on the hand. In between the fingers, and don't forget to crease your hands like this so that you don't have those crease marks by your knuckles. And then that's it. You see how it's just going to be really nice and gradual? That's how you kind of want it to look. And then that is pretty much it. I am all self-tanned. So if you ever do get any areas that aren't like perfect and need some more blending, just take your mitt and pat the area. And then that is pretty much it. Now what you want to do is just let your tan kind of settle in and a little bit like dry for about 60 seconds. And then you can go ahead and put on a really loose kind of comfy shirt. I'm sorry if this demo wasn't the best. It's like my first time doing a self-tanning demo, so I probably wasn't all completely in frame and it probably was a little bit awkward, but yeah, I did my best to kind of show you guys how I actually do it, and I hope you guys learned some really good tips. So now that you guys saw the demo, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about the process of what I do afterwards, like after I apply the self-tan. Does it rub off on my sheets? Do I wash it off? When do I wash it off? How long do I keep it on? Blah, blah, blah. So right after I apply my self-tan, what I do, I mentioned in the demo, I just make sure I wear a super like loose shirt. You want to make sure your self-tanner dries for about 60 seconds before you put on a shirt, or else it will like get stained. After that, your shirts will not get stained, your clothes will not get stained. The only thing that I will say is if you are the type that does sweat a lot, like in the underarm area, then what does tend to happen is you'll sweat off the self-tanner onto your clothes slightly. As far as like staining on the clothes, to be honest, I don't get that very much. The only time that I will ever get that is if I am wearing a white shirt and I'm sweating a little bit, then the sweat will kind of, like the self-tanner will sweat a little bit, just a tiny bit. This product actually works very well and it doesn't sweat off that easily. Another thing too is probably the whole white bed sheets or bed sheets in general. For the first night, what you want to basically do after putting on your self-tanner is you want to let it set for at least 6 hours. What I like to do is apply it at night and I will go to bed, and then when I wake up, I'll just take a shower and wash it off. The whole point is that you're putting on the self-tanner, letting it develop, and then completely washing it off, and whatever's left over is your tan. For the first night, because I do have like that full-on self-tanner and I haven't washed it off yet, if you just sleep fresh on your sheets, it will stain your sheets. So you want to sleep on top of something like a black towel or a black t-shirt or a black bed sheet or anything like that. Throughout the week, throughout the days, I do find that like each and every day slightly, like I'll say for like up to a week, my self-tan will slightly, like the sheets will start to get like a slight bit of a color for my self-tan. But I'm totally okay with that because I have white sheets. I can just bleach it. Like when I wash my sheets, I'll just put some bleach and my sheets are like brand new crisp white. So I love having white sheets in my self-tan. I feel like it's the easiest color to work with. Because you can just easily bleach it, whereas with other colored sheets you can't do that. So after I do wash my self-tanner off the next morning, I do like to just wash it off normally. A question that beginners probably have is, well, how do I wash it off? You literally just wash it off normally, the same way you would wash your body. You rinse it with water and you do use soap. You can use whatever soap you normally use. I do just suggest using like a fragrance-free one, like one that's a little bit less harsh. I pretty much just wouldn't suggest you using like a body wash that comes with your perfume or something, or maybe using like from the Body Shop. I wouldn't suggest those. I just use the St. Ives oil and shea butter one. It's paraben free. It's 100% of a natural moisturizer. It contains natural extracts. So I'm not saying that this is the most natural product ever, but it isn't like the most chemical one, fragranced one, or anything like that. So it's really, really nice. You don't want to use anything that's too like fragranced or has too many dyes or like parabens. I will just take a good amount of soap, rub it all off, and wash off the tan, and you will notice the tan strip off on the shower, and that's what you want because that means that you have that developed layer off and now you're left with like that tan. So after that, I will just moisturize every single day right after the shower, and then I'll start to moisturize every single day after that because again, you want to keep your tan moisturized and hydrated, and that's what's really going to make it last. And it's going to help it fade nicer. Like it's going to help it fade in a very gradual, nice, natural looking way. And I think that's pretty much all I have to cover for this video. I'm sorry if this video was a little bit long, but I really wanted to cover everything because I've been getting so many questions from you guys on my self-tan and what I use, how I apply it, and I know a lot of people really struggle with like the whole self-tanner hands, and as you can see, my hands do not look like bad. Like they look totally normal. So that's, I really wanted to put out this video so that you guys can see how to apply it really nicely on the hands as well. That's pretty much it for this video. Again, I'm sorry if it's kind of long. I just really wanted to get all the information out there. If you enjoyed this video, then like, thumbs up this video so we can help get it out there for other people who need some help with self-tanning and everything like that. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah. Pink. Pretty like champagne shade. I'm really hoping that this shade looks like beautiful on. So I'm just gonna take that and pack it all over.